Every 4th of July, Americans come together to celebrate with dazzling fireworks, lively parades, and backyard barbecues, filling the air with laughter and the aroma of grilled food. It's a day when communities gather, neighbors greet each other, and families create memories under the summer sky. These traditions mark the anniversary of the nation's birth in 1776, when a bold experiment in democracy began at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. But beyond the founders and the Declaration, there's a much bigger story unfolding. The story of the people who make up America, generation after generation. Who were they then, and who are we now? The difference is staggering, revealing just how much the nation has changed. In 1776, the 13 colonies were home to about 2.5 million people, fewer than the population of today's Chicago, and most lived in small towns or rural communities. Now, in 2025, nearly 345 million people call America home, living in sprawling cities, suburbs, and rural areas across a vast continent. This explosive growth is the engine behind America's transformation, from a fragile, uncertain republic to a global superpower, constantly evolving and expanding. Each new wave of people brought their own hopes, dreams, cultures, and challenges, forcing the nation to constantly redefine itself and adapt to new realities. The idea of what it means to be American has been stretched, tested, and remade time and again, shaped by the struggles and contributions of millions. Our population story is our identity, a living conversation between past and present, between those who came before and those who are here now. So as we celebrate independence, let's look beyond the fireworks and flags to the people, the real force behind America's journey, the heart and soul of the nation. The path from 2.5 million to 345 million is complex, filled with both triumphs and failures, moments of unity and times of division, all shaping who we are. By exploring this demographic explosion, we see not only the nation we inherited, but also the one we're building for the future, a country shaped by its people, always growing, always changing. In 1776, America was a patchwork of 13 colonies, each with its own unique character and challenges scattered along the Atlantic coast. The total population was just 2.5 million people, roughly the size of Brooklyn today, a reminder of how small the nation once was. An overwhelming 95% lived in rural areas, working the land, raising families, and forming tight-knit communities far from the bustle of city life. Philadelphia, the largest city at the time, had only 40,000 residents, a fraction of today's urban centers, yet it was a hub of commerce and ideas. The population was mostly of European descent, but about 1/5, nearly 500,000, were enslaved Africans, forced to labor and denied liberty, their lives shaped by oppression. Hundreds of thousands of Native Americans lived on the land, their cultures rich and diverse, yet they were uncounted in colonial records, and often ignored or pushed aside by settlers. Life expectancy was low, surviving childhood was a challenge, and most people were under 16, making it a nation of the young, shaped by hardship and hope. Disease, hard labor, and constant risk defined daily life, with few comforts and little certainty about the future. America's definition of we the people was tragically narrow, excluding the enslaved, displacing the indigenous, and leaving many voices unheard in the new nation. The ideals of freedom and equality were powerful, inspiring dreams of a better world, but in practice they applied only to a select few. This was a small, rural, and youthful society, its strengths and conflicts deeply rooted in its beginnings, with every family and village playing a part in the nation's story. The seeds of both unity and division were planted here, as cooperation and conflict shaped the land and its people. This is the foundation on which the modern nation was built, a starting point marked by both promise and contradiction. Understanding this starting point is key to understanding America's evolution, revealing how far the country has come and how far it still has to go. The journey from this divided world set the stage for everything to come, shaping the nation's identity and its ongoing quest for unity and justice. Fast forward to 2025. America is transformed, its landscape almost unrecognizable from just a few generations ago. The population has soared to nearly 345 million, a staggering 138-fold increase since 1776. This explosive growth has reshaped every corner of the nation from coast to coast. Over 80% of Americans now live in urban and suburban areas, marking a dramatic shift from the rural agricultural society of the past. Cities and suburbs have become the new heart of American life. Cities like New York and Los Angeles are global powerhouses, magnets for opportunity, innovation, and culture, drawing people from every corner of the world. America is more racially and ethnically diverse than ever before, with communities reflecting a rich tapestry of backgrounds and traditions. Hispanic or Latino Americans now make up nearly 20% of the population, shaping the nation's culture, economy, and politics in profound ways. Asian Americans are the fastest-growing group, contributing to the country's dynamism and global connections. The multiracial population is booming, and in many states, non-Hispanic whites are no longer the majority. This shift is redefining what it means to be American. The median age is now 38, reflecting longer life expectancies and lower birth rates. America is growing older with more grandparents than ever before. An aging population brings new challenges for healthcare, retirement, and the workforce, as society adapts to meet the needs of its seniors. America is a vibrant tapestry of languages and cultures, with more than 350 languages spoken in homes and classrooms, constantly redefining what it means to be one nation. The promise of e pluribus unum, out of many one, is being tested in real time as Americans navigate both unity and difference. Today's America is a vibrant, complex mosaic, no longer a simple sketch, but a living portrait of diversity, energy, and change. Our demographic realities force us to confront new questions about identity, belonging, and unity, challenges that will shape the nation's future for generations to come. How did America grow from 2.5 million to 345 million? It's a story of expansion, birth, and opportunity. Territorial growth, through purchases, treaties, and wars, opened vast new lands. The Louisiana Purchase alone doubled the country's size. High birth rates in the 18th and 19th centuries fueled steady growth. The Industrial Revolution transformed the economy, pulling people into cities and attracting immigrants seeking work. Government policies like the Homestead Act and investments in infrastructure spurred migration and settlement. Each factor built on the others, creating unstoppable momentum. Economic opportunity and the sheer size of the continent set the stage for a population explosion. America's growth was never about a single event. It was a cascade of forces over centuries. This is how a small republic became a demographic giant. Immigration is central to America's population story. In the 1800s, waves of Irish and German immigrants arrived, fleeing famine and seeking freedom. Later, millions from Southern and Eastern Europe reshaped cities and culture. Restrictive laws like the 1924 Immigration Act slowed arrivals, but the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act reopened the doors. Since then, immigrants from Latin America, Asia, and Africa have created today's multicultural society. Each wave brought new cultures and ideas, but also sparked debates about identity and belonging. Immigration is not just about numbers, it's a force that continually remakes the nation. The conversation about who gets to be American is a defining theme of our history. Innovation has powered America's population growth. Advances in agriculture, like the steel plow and green revolution, created food surpluses to support cities. Medical breakthroughs changed everything. Vaccines, sanitation, and antibiotics slashed mortality rates. People began living longer, fueling steady population increases. The 20th century brought even more surgery, cardiac care, and cancer treatments extended life expectancy. Transportation innovations, railroads, highways, and cars connected the country and allowed people to spread out. Technology didn't just help the population grow, it reshaped where and how Americans live. The story of growth is also a story of our ability to defy disease and distance. Science and innovation made a massive modern America possible. Our physical and social landscape was transformed by these advances. America's growth wasn't universal progress. Westward expansion meant catastrophe for Native Americans, displacement, violence, and loss of land. The nation's wealth was built on the backs of enslaved Africans, whose labor fueled prosperity but left a legacy of inequality. Even European immigrants faced harsh conditions and prejudice, sparking labor movements for fair treatment. Today, deep inequalities in wealth, health, and opportunity persist, often along racial and economic lines. The strain on resources and the environment is growing, especially with climate change. Acknowledging these costs is essential to understanding the full story of America's growth. Our achievements are real, but so are the enduring challenges. America's population boom brought innovation, diversity, and global influence. A large, diverse workforce drives creativity and economic power. But growth also brings challenges: strained infrastructure, environmental impact, and a widening gap between rich and poor. The aging population puts pressure on Social Security and Medicare, raising tough questions about care and priorities. Political polarization and debates over identity are more intense than ever. Managing a vast, diverse society requires constant dialogue and compromise. The promise of e pluribus unum, out of many, one, demands empathy and effort. Our diversity is a strength, but it also tests our unity. The future depends on finding common ground. Looking ahead, America's population will keep growing, but more slowly, projected to reach 400 million by mid-century. Immigration will drive most of this growth, as birth rates remain low. No single racial or ethnic group will be a majority. Diversity will define the nation. The challenge: building a more inclusive, equitable society where the American dream is truly accessible. This means addressing historical inequalities and investing in education, healthcare, and opportunity for all. Environmental pressures will require smarter, more sustainable ways of living. The choices we make now will shape whether our growth is sustainable or damaging. America's story is one of reinvention, from a small republic to a multicultural superpower. The next chapter is unwritten, shaped by how we answer, who are we? Who do we want to be? Our future depends on the wisdom and courage to build a nation that lives up to its ideals. The story of America's people is still being written by all of us.